Guys, Kev here, and I want to talk about the new Giant Mouse Ace Jagt. So it's Jagt, Jagt. The boys over at Giant Mouse are Danish, and I'm German. Pretty sure it's pronounced the same way either way, and probably means the same thing. To me, in German, it means hunted. So a Yaga is a hunter, and being jagt would be to be hunted or chased maybe, but I'm assuming they're going with hunted here. It comes in a couple of versions. As far as I understand, they're going to be releasing today, for you today, October 23rd at, I don't know what time. Keep an eye on their Instagram. I'll post this video up in the morning. And I will have a link down below. If you want to use that link, it does help the channel. You also can use the code LeftyEDC. That'll save you, I think, $5 off your order at Giant Mouse. Better than nothing. So a little bit of a win-win there if you're into this design. Obviously, it works on all of their products. I feel like Giant Mouse is really killing it this year. You know, I was getting to a point where I wasn't really loving everything coming out of there. And then this year, I feel like they've really started to hit. They've made some changes. It seems like they're listening. Some things are still, you know, a little bit frustrating at times, like lock bar access. It seems like they made an attempt here. But this is Italian made. So this is made by Lion Steel in Italy. If you take these apart, which I also have a disassembly video on this, which we'll post later in the day. So that's kind of, if I have a disassembly video, I'm trying to maybe do it that way where I post the video about the knife, and then later I'll do the disassembly so you guys can see the inside if you want to. And I'll start trying to keep those disassemblies more to just disassemblies. But we'll see how that goes. I already filmed that though. So this on the inside says Giant Mouse, and then it says Made in Italy, LSK, Lion Steel Knives. So some of the manufacturers over there are starting to mark their work. At least that's what Giant Mouse was telling me. Some of them still do not, like Fox. So if you see one without anything, then I guess it's Fox. But as far as I know, they work with Lion Steel, Viper, and Fox, and there might be others as well. But this one's Lion Steel, who also did the Ace Rio, which is probably my favorite Giant Mouse, especially my favorite this year. I think the Riv might be my favorite in general. But yeah, they did the Rio, and I love that one. They really did a good job with it. They used the same bearings in here that they did in that. And it's these multi-row bearings, and they're really tiny. They're 3/64th ball or 1 millimeter, I can't remember. And they're steel balls, and I just don't love that. So I always switch them out with skiffs. But you have to put in these really small skiffs because you have to put in single rows to make it work. And it does work. The Rio was great on the skiffs. This one I went ahead and just left in the stock bearings. I'm going to pass this around, and honestly, I didn't notice the difference either way, so made sense to just leave it in there. But check out that disassembly later today. The three versions that I know of are this one. This is actually black micarta. It's almost got this marbled look. It's gorgeous. So it's black micarta, and then it's got this milling pattern on it. This stuff really looks fantastic. And then they have a canvas micarta and green canvas micarta. And then I think that has a stonewash blade. And then they have a orange G10. I believe it's G10. And that one, they all have the milling lines, if I recall correctly. And I think two of them are satin, and then the canvas is stonewash, but don't hold me to that. You can look up the versions online. They're now selling this clip as well. These come with a wire clip. So you get the standard wire clip. But they now sell these clips that you can buy to replace your wire clips. Now, these will work on most Giant Mouse knives. The Ace Atelier takes a different clip, apparently. I believe that's what they told me. So I don't know if they have one specifically on the site that says for the Ace Atelier and you can buy that, or if you just don't, you know, put one of these on that knife. I'm not sure how that works, but this will fit most of the Giant Mouse knives that have wire clips, which is very cool. It's nice to have an option other than just Lynch clips, or, you know, I think that's it for Giant Mouse's Lynch clips. So this design is a little different than your usual Vox Anso Giant Mouse collaboration. So I like that. I like that they went a little bit of a different direction. It's got almost like a slimmed down Nessmuck style look to it, which is very cool. It's got the pear-shaped hole. You do not have a finger choil. You do have a flat area here. You can choke up. Of course, I will always be choking up on a knife like this, or any knife, if I have that possibility. But you need to be careful because you're right here on the edge and you're not really in a choil. So you can hold it back here. I have a large glove size hand and I have plenty of room there. You can kind of see that Ace Rio nod back here, at least if I'm remembering it correctly. But this works, right? The problem with this is you're far away from the jimping and the blade. You know, I like to be up close to that blade because the stuff I do is usually, you know, slicing through bags or cardboard or something like that. And then I do like the detailed stuff, right, where I'm cutting tape, opening a box or whatever. So I don't really come across stuff where I need to hold it back here and like slash and chop or whatever. So I want this to be comfortable, and it works. It does work. It's not sharp in any way right here. They did a good job knocking everything down here, so that feels good. I like this satin grind. I think they did a really good job on this satin, and it is sharp, dangerously sharp. You can see that. Maybe you can't, but it's really biting into the skin when I do that. This is in CPM MagnaCut, so I'm going to guess it's somewhere around 62 HRC. That's what their Tribeca's at in MagnaCut. Now, I don't know if... I don't think Lion Steel did the Tribeca, but I'm guessing heat treat's all done by the same place in Italy. Yeah. So you have a lanyard spot back here. It's on the back of the backspacer. I never like it when lanyard holes take precedent over the clip, and that does seem like what's going on here. So the handle is extended a little bit to get that lanyard hole in there. I guess there's not really a good spot here or whatever, but if you get one of these clips, you could just use this for your lanyard. But it is reversible. It works well. Wire or this clip works good. No problems there. So the knife itself for deployments has a flipper tab and a pear-shaped hole, so you can get on that jimping right here. Pretty standard Vox flipper tab, and you can pop that blade out, no problem. The detent feels good. I can fail it if I try, but I'm really kind of pinching that blade down. If I pull on it, it's pretty much guaranteed to fly out of there. I'm sure if I really like babied it on a pull, I could fail it, but it passes my test, so I think that means it's good. Just saying. Reverse flick, solid, no problems there. That pear-shaped hole works really well. You can get in here and thumb flick, I think, pretty well. It's a fun thumb flick. You do have to worry about hitting this corner right here, but you get used to it. I've never tried it left-handed, and I gotta wrist it a little bit, because I'm just going to pop that corner if I do that. I have to just flick it out, which works just fine. Reverse flick again, very good left-handed. It's got good balance. Like, it just feels right in my hand. You know, I can move it around, and I know that's dumb, but some knives are like just falling all over the place because they're not balanced, you know. The balance point here is going to be right where that finger choil is, which is nice. So, you know, you got that spot, you can grip it, swing it around, and you got Friday Night Gas Station. There's nothing sharp up here. There is that corner, but it's rounded. So you can get a nice grip like this, and you got your Friday Night Gas Station Slurpee Saver. You have a little bit of a guard here because you're in that finger groove. So it does work really well in a reverse grip. reverse draw cut or whatever this is called works pretty well. You could choke up. That's a little less comfortable, but this is comfortable. You can hold it like this. That feels good. You can hold it like this. That feels good. Pinch grip feels good. Climb up pinch grip feels good. I mean, it's a very comfortable knife. There's no sharp edges. There's nothing like just uncomfortable about it at all. So I enjoy that quite a bit. The liners are milled out nicely. The weight is okay. It's definitely not heavy. It's definitely not like, hey, this is light. I would venture to guess somewhere around 4 ounces, right? Now, they did not have any kind of heavy version. Usually there's something like titanium, and then those weigh a lot because they don't tend to mill anything in there, and then they have brass backspacers, and they just weigh like 6 ounces. It's crazy. Excuse me, but this is solid. You have your Vox style jimping up here, which I did confirm with Giant Mouse. They just call it jimping. But I will pay homage to the master of jimping, and I will call it Vox style jimping. I do like that it feels almost elongated compared to normal, but I think that's just me. One thing with it is, I guess if I choke up to here, I'll land right on it. It would be nice if there was some jimping here if you were choked back. So it would be nice if there was a little bit there, but hey, what you gonna do? T8s all around, if I recall correctly. Yeah. Oh, no, there's a couple of T6s down underneath, and that's holding the liner down onto the backspacer. That's fair. I mean, if you need to get under there, I mean, I have knives coming out that have T6s. There's reasons. Sometimes you just have to do it. Or the OEM just wants to use T6 or says they have to, and, you know, it's not the end of the world. It is nice to always have T8 or better, but hey. Depends on the scenario. The centering is off to this side. I can't remember if it was dead centered out of the box or not. When I did this assembly, I just could not get it centered without blade play. So right now, there's no play at all, no rock. It's solid. A little too solid, maybe. It doesn't quite drop or anything. But if I loosen it, I get play, and then I can maybe get it centered, but then I have play, and it's just a game you play. So I just let it go. It's pretty much centered, not the end of the world. But if that matters to you, maybe you can ask for them to check it before they ship it. And who knows, this could have been centered before I took it apart. So, the lock bar. Let's talk about the lock bar, all right? It looks like they made an attempt here to cut this back a little bit. You see how there's some space there for your thumb? That's nice, because on some of their models, it's like there's none, right? It's almost like this side hangs over. So you do have a little room. But the thing is, with Italian-made knives, right, which for my experience is mostly just Vox and Giant Mouse knives. So it could just be Giant Mouse thing, but I doubt it. The spring tension or the tension on the lock bar is just, it's just too much. Like, if you look at something like, here's a Vox design from Urban EDC, but it's done by Riot, okay? So Riot did this one, and Lion Steel did this one. Let's just say Italy, okay? And there's a difference, right? You'll see here, they have about the same amount of lock bar access. This one's got all this jimping. This one has micro jimping and a little scallop. Now, when I push this lock bar out of the way, it just drops out of the way. It's super smooth. It's like, it doesn't hurt your thumb or anything. It just slides out of the way, and then the knife swings down, okay? This one, now, the way the pivot's set up, and I have it tight, maybe this one has no play, it's tight too, but whatever. It's not gonna just drop, right? I'm not looking for that. What I'm looking for is to be able to move this lock bar, and it just takes a much stronger effort to move it out of the way. And the detent's not stronger. Like, this detent is very good. Honestly, it's stronger than this, even though this one's a flipper. So that's not it. It's just their lock bars tend to be so stiff. Now, it's possible that, and some people would argue this, that this is a titanium liner and this is a steel liner. So with steel, it's going to have more tension. It's going to be harder to knock out of the way. Which, okay, we can play that game. Here's a Divo Knives growler. I just happen to have this here. This was made for us by Kubi Knives. And you do have that jimping here. But it's still just a soft push. It's a little bit maybe harder to push than that, but not really. But we actually cut this back so you have space here to put your thumb in and push against that and drop it. So now it'll swing down on your nail like that, right? It's easier. And that's a steel lock bar. Another one, another Divo. This is a Nip. That's a steel lock bar right there. This one, so easy to push out of the way. The Pony Stout, same thing, steel lock bar. Just so easy to push those out of the way. So here's this one again. It just takes a lot of effort, and it strains your thumb to do it. Maybe I'm a pussy. That's fair. There is some access there, so I don't want to just sound like totally negative. It's not terrible. It's just that I wish that Italy would start, figuring out what makes that so stiff. Maybe you need to add some milling along the lock bar, and that'll maybe cut down some of that tension. You still get what you need to hit the detent, but you don't have all that tension on the lock bar because it is so much more comfortable disengaging a Chinese-made knife. So it's not across the board. I'm sure there's some that are stiff. It's not, it's the manufacturer maybe, but in Italy, they just tend to be super stiff. They tend to not have as good of lock bar access, and they tend to scallop the shit out of them. So you take all three of those things, combine them, and throw them into one, and it just can be a little uncomfortable, especially if you're trying to fidget with a knife or something, doing this over and over. You'll end up, wearing the corner of your nail or, callousing your thumb or something. Now, I do want to note that as far as I can tell, Anso and Vox, the way they close their knives is like this. They hold the knife like so, and they push the lock bar out of the way, and they fold the knife down. Okay? They don't do this move. They don't do this shake move, and that's when it's uncomfortable. When you're trying to do this with the corner of your nail to do that. When you do this and you use the left side of your thumb and just slide it over, it doesn't really hurt. It's still a tight lock bar, but it's just not, it just doesn't hurt the same way this does. So I want to point that out. It is also the user. The action's good. I mean, it's smooth, right? It's very smooth. It's just not super drop shut. You just have to give it a shake. For me, it's just getting it past the, getting it started, right? I can't get it to really shake down, but once I do, really smooth. Those multi-row bearings are good. I'd prefer ceramic. I don't know why Italy's still using steel bearings in 2023, but they are, and I guess not many people are complaining about it, so I guess it's fine. I don't know. Backspacer's cool. Thought I just cut myself again. I cut myself earlier, but I think I just touched it, and it hurt, and I was like, oh my God, thought I cut myself again. So I'm a baby. But it's a cool knife, guys. So if you're into giant mouse knives, trying to collect them all, or you are just looking for a good EDC knife, something on that medium to getting to the large size, I'll give you a size comparisons and whatnot. So this guy right here is 3.3 inches, 3.4 inches on the blade, and then overall we're looking at 8 inches. So, I would call it a standard size knife, right? We can take something like the Bergblade Sweeney, and that'll be right in the wheelhouse there, okay? The Divo knife stout. Here's the OG. Right in that wheelhouse. A little bit smaller, but they're close, right? What else do I have? The new Kaiser Phoenix. Shout out to Maddie. Right there. That's definitely a little bit bigger. Same wheelhouse. You get the point, right? To your wrath. Similar size range. All right. Anything else I wanted to cover on this? I don't think so. I think I got it pretty well covered. It's contoured slightly. It's super comfortable in the hand. The milling's fantastic. The blade is super well done, well ground. It's sharp as shit. It cuts for sure. Plunge grind looks okay. Actually, it looks pretty... Looks like it's well past the edge there. So... let me see where the stop pin is. I don't know if you could cut. Oh, it's an internal stop pin. So you could cut in a choil or something if you wanted to. That's not my forte. So you guys tell me if I'm crazy, but it does look like that plunge ends well past the edge termination. It's close. It's close. Not really something that bothers me, but I know some of you guys are crazy about that. The hole's good. I mean, it's chamfered well. It flicks well. Your finger gets in there well. All that stuff's good. It feels like a good knife. Feels like a solid knife. It looks like a cool knife. I like the blade shape. I just like the design. It's different and new, and that's nice to see. Because I get a lot of comments when I post videos of Giant Mouse knives or Voxnez knives. Like I posted the new Urban one, the Becerro, and people are like, do all their knives look identical? And a lot of their knives look the same. I get it. This one doesn't. This one definitely looks unique to me. So I'm guessing you're going to see a cool GM whatever version of this, like the fancy one, because that would be cool to see. So, all right, I'm going to shut up. I love you guys. Check the link down below if you want to pick one of these up. They are dropping today, October 23rd. I love you guys. Hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.